Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
Still haven't heard back from any of my love letters on Declan.
Actually, I thought we were going to write.
Poor bugger. So this week we're doing To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You. Still kind of odd to say out loud from myself. It's like, woo yeah.
Bit more comfortable with your sexuality, man.
I know.
That's it, mate.
Got to get used to it. Anyway, this film, okay, it's directed by Michael Fimognari. Can't even pronounce his name right. Also the cinematographer for Dr. Sleep, The Haunting of Hill House, Gerald's Game, and many more. He would go on to direct the third To All the Boys as well.
He was the cinematographer for Dr. Sleep. Yeah, wow.
Cool. Yep, and Haunting of Hill House, the whole series. Written by Sofia Alvarez, who continues her work from the first film, and bringing on J. Mills Goodall as a second, with collaborating writers of Maxwell Peters, based on the novel by Jenny Han. Just a little bit of opening information. And preface, we do spoil the film and the characters and the plot. So if you don't want to have the film spoiled, watch the spoil-free review that will be out as well right now. On with the show.
Sounds like we were going to taint the characters when you say we spoil the characters.
I don't mean it like that.
Or we're going to buy them heaps of gifts.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get the spoil warning out.
I'm trying to get my brain working.
I know.
I'm still in a daze.
You got a fuzzy day as well? I've had a fuzzy morning.
It's weird.
Like, just the morning's been all over the place.
Been doing my Mondays. So we record this on a Monday. Get up, sunrise walk, and it gets me in the right
headspace.
Your head looks very cleanly shaven. I mean, your beard.
Well, because I have to shave for work.
Yeah.
As like with the rule every 24 hours. And when we were doing this before, I was on night shift. Yeah. So I was just shaving before I went to work at night. But now I'm back on afternoon shift. So I get ahead of myself, you know.
What are you using?
Why?
A cutthroat?
No, I've got a triple blade Gillette Mark III.
Oh, yeah. That's close shave.
This podcast brought to you by Gillette.
It shouldn't be called To All the Boys. It should be just called The Boys.
Sponsored by Gillette.
You wouldn't have seen me without a beard for a while. So,
Why though? Why do they make you do it?
The old baby face
so that
again.
Dust doesn't get underneath your mask, apparently.
Okay.
I personally think it's a bit more of a control thing. But.
Probably. Yeah. Any boozle.
P.S. We're still talking about this movie.
yeah, we still got to get onto it.
I think I've said all I need to say about it.
Just watch Declan leave. I'll go with you first, Ed. What did you think of this one?
Look, I thought this was very predictable. And it's a typical romantic movie. There's always a conflict in there that comes in. Usually a second act, something like that. Yeah. And you sort of know where it's going to go. I still found it frustrating that she's leading, two guys on, and I don't know. It's a very simple movie. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I'm not going to rag on it anymore. But it was fun. It was easy to watch.
Super easy to watch.
Yeah. And I reckon, what's the guy's name, the main guy?
Noah
Peter Kavinsky.
Yeah, man, he is like a young Mark Ruffalo. He's got that real charm about him.
I can kind of see that.
I think he's not nerdy enough to have the career of Mark Ruffalo, though. Like, Mark Ruffalo's got that sort of innocence about him, whereas Peter Kavinsky does look like he'd be he's the quarterback on the team. You know?
Yeah, but he does that, but he has smile and that look that Ruffalo does.
Yeah, yeah.
And no, I think he's a good actor, eh?
Yeah.
Well, out of everyone in the film, just generally, everyone's really quite good still.
Yeah,
I think what's the main actress's name?
Lara Jean's the character, and Lana Condor.
She's quite good.
She's not bad as well. I
like the family dynamic still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably the best part. Yeah,
it's good. That's my take.
Yeah.
Declan.
I felt pretty much the same as you. I definitely didn't like it as much as I liked the first one. So the first one was also predictable, but it really leaned into what it was, and it made itself feel a little bit different. Whereas this one was like, it was more frustrating to watch, I think, because they were just
Thank God. Someone said it.
Yeah, that's the word.
They were just being dumb to each other.
Yeah.
Like she was like. Like her hang-ups, which is like the movie's all about her hang-ups. But I would also say that the John Ambrose character,
Yeah.
He's super boring.
Yeah.
I
very
found him
God.
so boring.
So vanilla.
I kept saying to my
Vanilla.
girlfriend, I just said, I wish that he was more. There was something more to him. Like he's just kind of like this, just like such a soft boy kind of.
Yeah.
thing. Like
Filling, yeah.
He comes in and just is like,
I never felt like he was going to get, because I was like, there's not, like, he's not doing anything charming. They don't really have any common interests.
Yeah.
Like they keep talking about common interests they had when they were kids, but now they don't really
Nothing.
share anything at
He's
all.
the type of character you have in those horror movies where you don't know anything about him, and if they die, it's like, oh, who cares?
or he's the
Like
guy
there's no bond with him. You know?
or he's the guy that's just so simple that
Yeah.
by the end of the horror movie, he's the one that did it.
But but which was kind of annoying, but because like the actor seemed kind of like, he seemed quite competent. Like it wasn't knock, but it was like more.
yeah.
The character didn't really have anything to do.
They
Like,
didn't give him
he was
enough.
he was in maybe like 6 scenes I can count on
Yeah.
my hand, and he didn't have that much dialogue. Like he didn't do much at all.
All the scenes were like, remember when we were kids and
Yeah.
you gave me my name?
It's the
Or-
same
I
thing I
remember
said
when you
about
were-
like it was trying to fool us.
Boring.
It was trying to fool us into believing they had something just by telling us what they'd experienced before, rather than showing us. Why couldn't we see them have new experiences
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
And like that thing about when they turned up to the treehouse with the pizza, that was the dumbest
So
argument.
dumb, man.
I'm
yeah.
your boyfriend. I can get
Yeah.
the pizza.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like, who cares?
Free pizza.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, how good is pizza?
Yeah, I'll
It's so good.
But
Pizza's
also,
the bomb.
he only
Except
had like
Domino's
2 or
pizza.
3. Did he only have like 2 or 3 boxes of pizza?
yeah, it wasn't
That's
many.
not enough pizza. It's not enough pizza.
Man, come on.
I can nail 1.5 pizzas
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
ease.
I was gonna say you need at least one pizza per person.
A takeaway,
easy.
like a classic takeaway pizza that's not from like a like an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
I'll smash a
Yeah.
pizza and a half.
With ease.
Easy.
Like a crappy Domino's one. They're
I
probably
was trying not to say brands, but you know.
nah, they're rubbish.
'Cause I'm
They're not
Already
great.
done it
But if you want to sponsor us,
What do you expect for $5?
take the money.
Hey, just I just want to touch quickly. I know we've got to get to yours, but
Yeah.
We always
Every
neglect
time.
getting to
Yeah,
Reece. You and
How's-
me just end up having a big chat about what we say,
Yeah.
and Reece just has to go like, yeah, I liked it. Anyway, let's move on. With
But how's we can pretty much sum up the movie in 10 minutes. But how's the heaviness of the blues and the yellows in the wardrobe department?
Yeah, there was.
Nearly
That's
every
the same
single
as the
shot.
other one.
There was because the last one I watched of this, I didn't have like I didn't watch it in 4K, and I watched this, and I was like, do they edit this? Because the colors are crazy.
Yeah.
Like the girl had yellow. Did you see the yellow
Yeah.
makeup on that
Yeah.
girl's? That was
Yeah.
a crazy decision.
It was,
There was
yeah.
no. I was like,
It's
that's
every
really
shot.
distracting.
Yeah, it's
I
heavy.
don't usually pay attention to stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it odd.
And also, everywhere has fairy lights. There were
Yeah,
fairy
what the
lights.
fuck is that
Just
about?
everywhere had them. Just for it's like
Even
it was
the
like
handrail in the
Yeah.
in the seniors
Yeah.
location.
It was like, you know, when we were doing wedding videos, and you always were just like, "Oh, get the fairy lights in
Yeah.
the back."
Get good old
trick.
Boca balls.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
out of focus in the background for a bit of noise in the background. Classic.
Actually, when she was walking down the stairs with the lights that were there,
Yeah.
it was bugging me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
she kept hitting the lights.
Yeah.
And my eyes kept going to her hitting the lights on
Also,
the way down.
that retirees ball.
That's
That
an
was
odd
really
location,
weird. And it was really weird
Even the lady,
to decide to
yeah.
have a big big seminal romantic moment in that
that-
ball.
And miraculously, how she knew that she needed a dress.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a dress for you. Just get into this.
I don't mind
That-
I don't
yeah.
mind the moment.
Yeah.
Like I like how she comes into it and goes,
Do you know what? Actually, say your piece, and then we'll
yeah.
discuss
we'll get to it. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
idea.
Shit. All right.
All right, now for
I
Reese's
enjoyed
segment.
It. yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dan.
the rare once a year. Reece gets to say what he thought of the movie.
Maybe you should start off first next time. WandaVision.
Okay, next time I will.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good host lets his guests go.
Yeah. Okay, Joe Rogan.
My show. And you're like, wait, hold on.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
no,
on Okay, guys. Sorry.
I quite enjoyed it. Like I did enjoy it. I had a massive problem with the center of the film. I thought it was so boring.
Yeah.
But the end was really quite good, and the beginning was quite good. And I think it's at its simplicity, the film is just about dealing with a first relationship. So this is how I see it. I think that this is going to be the first film is about getting the girl or getting the guy. Then the second film is about actually the relationship at hand, and then the third film is going to be a little bit more like things like college, moving away,
Looks
or
like
something
she's
like
overseas
that.
or something in the
Is it?
trailer, from what I
So
can tell. Yeah.
It seems like the same type
Long
of
distance.
thing
relationship
as like the opening of To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Because like the sister leaves what was at the time my MVP, Josh, you know.
Yeah, you
Buddy.
were Team Josh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would be Team John. In
Not
this
any,
movie.
no.
Surely not.
Nah. But either way, I went back and I watched the opening of that to see Team Josh again.
Yeah.
I don't like it anymore. I'm not Team Josh anymore.
What happened?
I rewatched it and I was like, Team Josh is whiny.
Yeah.
It's whiny. Anyway. I was watching it and I'm like,
I'm just nodding my head thinking I fucking remember or not.
you can't remember anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I do remember the Team Josh and Team was
that fucking guy.
I'll just go with the majority.
It was like his sisters, her sisters.
yeah.
Ex.
Oh, ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
she moved to Scotland. The sister moved to Scotland
You
and
never
broke up
meet
with him.
the sister, do you?
You do at the start.
just over on the phone.
Oh, at the start.
And then in this movie, on the phone.
Skype
phone.
orders, yeah.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed it, but all it was that center part. I hated both characters so much.
Yeah.
I didn't like Lara Jean. I did not like Peter.
No, they were both being frustrating.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were just both. All could have been fixed if they had just been honest.
Yeah, but the other thing is that
I hope
Peter
it was too relied on the first movie.
well,
Should moved on.
Peter is a little older and has, well, not older in this, but he's had a few relationships.
He looks like he's older.
He does, yeah.
Like at least by
3
5 10
years.
years.
More. He's a 45-year-old man.
Yeah. It's Mark Ruffalo.
But yeah,
Makeup.
he's not right.
De-aging. Sorry.
But yeah, it definitely. I found that he was. He had a few relationships, so was trying to navigate it, but wasn't allowing her to experience her first relationship how someone usually experiences their first relationship. So it took until the end for them to be like, which I wish it would have been more along the lines of where they're like, hey, I'm going to give and take a little more with each other and be a little bit more truthful and honest. Why the hell don't they ever have a conversation like a conversation occurs in real life? You know, that's my question with something like this. I know they're making a fairy tale film, but I would have loved to have them have an actual conversation like a partner does, like a relationship does.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little ending with, a little extra.
Yeah. I think also maybe something that would have given it a bit more, just to give that John character something more. Like if you look at like the classic sort of where the whole concept of the love triangle came from would be like a book like Emma, right? Like the Jane Austen novel, where it's like the guy that seems really sweet and stuff is actually like a bit of a con artist or something like that, which
he came off like that all the way through the film. And I'm like,
because he was just saying the right things all the time, and also I was sus on him because number one, that jacket that he was wearing didn't fit him properly at all. It was the weirdest jacket ever.
It was the jacket,
but also
that was the problem.
As soon as he found out that her and Peter had broken up, he tried to make out like he was like, "Oh, do you need to talk about it? Let's get some air," and then just proceeded to make out with it instantly. Like it was the biggest sly dog move ever. Like
I was waiting for a little more, even though I was waiting for him to try and hook onto her in a bit more of like a predatory way. It's true, because then it would have made it a bit more like this guy's a scumbag.
But I don't think that's what they were going for. But that's what it came, because they were just trying to rush to this idea that like she had to kiss him to discover that. And do you know what? That's not a bad concept. Sometimes you do have to kiss the wrong person to find out who the right person is. Like that whole thing of like you got to slay the dragon to get to the princess.
But by the way, if we're gonna, I know we're not gonna give it, but I would say MVP for this is Stormy.
The old woman.
Yeah, she's fucking cool.
But that was going to be my point, actually.
I don't know.
I don't disagree. I don't think she wasn't cool, but she wasn't used enough.
No, not enough.
No.
She's in like 2 scenes, and then by the end, that we're meant to believe that they have this intimate relationship.
Yeah. But I do.
Bizarre.
She's still my favorite character.
I would have liked her to talk to her dad, or even that neighbor across the road or something.
Yeah, the dad didn't get enough screen time.
Yeah.
The thing with the friendship bracelet with Jen, that was
interesting.
That was really interesting. That was interesting, and it was just all glossed over.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
well,
it was like they just tied it off real quick. Oh, I just hit it here.
Yeah,
I was like, come on.
Did they show her hiding it during the thing?
No.
There was a lot of things where it was like it felt weird that they didn't pay them off. Like the floaty thing, the candle thing that they use at the start. On the date, and she writes their names on it.
Oh yeah,
the Chinese.
I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I did get distracted a couple of times in this movie.
What were
but
you doing there?
I just started looking at my phone.
Okay.
Wow.
You're an idiot.
Obviously, he knows where I'm going. Getting red there, mate.
Huh?
Getting red there.
Filthy.
You're an idiot. You're a dickhead.
Oh, wow. We're off the rails.
All right, sorry, okay. Well, have a breather.
Little sip of
No, I
water.
was just generally getting distracted, reading things on the internet. Looking up things like top gadgets of 2021 and stuff like that. I thought that could have paid off in the third act.
Yeah.
Like when she was having doubts, she could have found that
Yeah.
sitting in like on the ground or floating in some water or something, and she could have looked at it and been like, "Oh yeah, we did make this promise to each other."
The MacGuffin.
Yeah, at least something with it.
Well, that would have been a bit more interesting than
Yeah,
the
I think
ball.
Yeah, yeah. I just found that whole what was it? An old people's home? Or something. I didn't know what
they
it
were
was.
like, well, maybe we should give them
It was
what
very
they want.
luxe old
Yeah.
people's home.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I just thought that was just stupid.
Yeah, their rooms were like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
Bellevue.
point.
It even sounds luxe. Bellevue.
Yeah.
you went into Stormzy's room, you're like, shit, this is
Stormzy. She's Stormzy.
Stormzy.
The DJ.
Well, I can't help
It's
it.
future
Her name
Stormzy.
Stormzy. Sounds like a
That's her
Mexican
grandkid, man. Actually, it does too, eh?
character.
Yeah. Maybe in the past, man.
Maybe.
But yeah, you go into her room and it's just lush. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, then another just on her.
Yeah.
You can tell she's like a veteran actor, and and they just gave her fuck all.
Yeah, that you can see that she would have been a super interesting character. Actually, I would have
Was
been
she in
happy.
Arrested Development? That she played the
Yeah,
mom?
yeah.
She does.
She's great in that.
She is very good.
She's also the voice of the mum in Archer, the TV show.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got to get into that again.
I love
That's
that
pretty
show.
funny. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into it.
Have we not?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
I know. Well, I gotta go somewhere with this. I gotta give the people something.
And that's
a lot
the
of
podcast.
it. Sorry.
That's
credits.
the podcast.
A lot of this had a lot of 80s vibes, and I think that's where things like the shadow, the yellow eyeshadow and stuff like that. So a lot of like the dressing was like pastels and stuff. And then it just came off to me like they were trying to replicate certain 80s things in a modern
What was
setting.
interesting though
I
was
feel
it
it
was
was forced,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Yeah,
the thing
that's
though.
what
Like
I'm saying.
it was pastel, but for some reason it was so vibrant. Which pastel's not meant to. Pastel's sort of meant to be a bit more subtle.
Yeah,
you know?
like
It was
it's like
Wes
they-
Anderson films.
Yeah.
They took the saturation,
well,
just
with more pink.
yeah.
bumped it all the way though.
Yeah.
But Wes Anderson, it's a style, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, and
how
it
you-
matches every era that he does. It just looks like it.
Yeah.
It's a super beautiful
Yeah.
like
style.
but this was like blues and yellows mixed together, which is an odd,
Yeah, blue, teal,
very
yellow.
harsh. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
It's very odd. There was also a lot of weird choices though. I got taken out of the movie a couple of times. I can't remember all of them. I can remember specifically when she's sad and she's walking along looking at the camera and singing that song.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hated that. I hated
I remember that bit.
I was
The part
like,
where
this is
they're
bizarre.
broken up, and they've actually broken up, and then she does what is it? He takes the chain from her.
That's so weird as well. When
Yeah,
she
that
goes,
was
"Do you want this back?"
fucking-
And he's
Oh,
like, "Oh
that
yeah,
was at
okay."
the-
that was
bizarre.
super weird.
That was at the aquarium, wasn't it?
No, she's in school. She's walking down the
that's right.
next to her lockers,
would've
and she's
made
like looking directly in the camera
and
mouthing
singing
the
the
lyrics of the
song.
song that's on the
I
screen.
can't remember
It was
that.
weird.
I get the idea of it.
I got
which
the
is
idea,
like-
but it
it
didn't
was not like
it didn't work for me.
No.
I was like,
It would have been better to have her just sit in a room and have the sound slowly come through or something.
I was like, this is so cheesy.
You know-
This
you know
is
what the
crazy.
best
and the
part-
piano scene, I hated the piano scene.
The best part I like about this movie is the seamless like creative cuts that they do and how they add people in. I just find that it's a different take on like a romantic type movie.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's really cool and clean.
The restaurant at the start. There's the scene at the restaurant with the two of them.
Yeah.
Is it
I
empty?
was well. No, the thing that was really crazy was they had two mirrors up on the wall at an angle. It's like the cinematographer had to be like dead center.
Yeah,
And there's no one in the room.
see that shot there. I go, oh, it looks nice, but it feels too forced.
It does, yeah. Yet again,
You need some sort of
what's the reasoning?
asymmetry. Is that what it is? When it's
Yeah.
like it's symmetrical, but I don't know, put some other shit in
It
it.
feels like the movie has like the cinematographer's handbook shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're going through, these are the generic shots you should take. They're doing it. And then when they try and do something creative, it feels out of place.
Yeah.
Because of that. It's like, why aren't you just shooting this like a film?
Yeah.
Just, like,
Well, if you're going sort of by the numbers predominantly, and then you throw something in like her mouthing the lyrics of that song,
it's super out
that's
of
why
place.
it took me out. I was like, this is not anything like what's been happening so far.
It would have been great if something like, for example, there was more of the conversations with random characters in her room.
Yeah, that's one scene.
Which,
right?
In the
was
other
it
one
or two scenes?
Yeah, it was only one or two. I think it was, because I remember it was John Ambrose was one of them.
They're both in there, yeah.
Oh, both in there.
Oh, were they? Yeah. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I'm not the only one that didn't pay heaps of attention.
I was looking at how to clean your, those like pantry hacks.
God,
How to store everything nice and neat. Yeah.
we go through the TikTok hacks. You're just scrolling.
Oh, it's little things. You got these little turntable wheels for your spices. That's pretty cool.
I was getting into crypto this week, so I guess I
Really?
was doing that one. Yeah.
Apparently, you're supposed to buy it when nobody talks
I
about
went
it.
up $70.
Oh, that's all right.
Already.
My mate made like 10 grand or something.
What about GameStop?
Yeah,
I know.
What's the go with that?
I was 2 days before it. I was going to buy $100 in Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're going into this right now. Fucking handbrake.
I think we did this with the last tour.
And and it went up 600%.
Wow.
I think, from what I can gather,
This whole game.
and I will start by saying I actually am not that versed in stocks, but from what I can gather, from what I've read, is that people were not happy with GameStop, so GameStop stocks were dropping, right?
Yeah.
So gamers were angry with it, and then hedge fund investors and all these Wall Street people started jumping in to bet against GameStop failing.
Yeah.
And what I'm murky on is either a bunch of people on Reddit bought up GameStop
So they all got
GameStop
together.
stocks,
Yeah.
or they started praising GameStop.
But they're going under.
Which-
No, they started buying it.
That's what they did, and also praising them to cover themselves.
Wow.
So
Yeah, because
That's dodgy as.
Yeah,
no,
because
but
it could have been a, what's it called?
the thing is, that's what the hedge fund investors do. That's
Yeah.
how they make
That's
their
how
living.
they-
They
yeah,
do
that's
that
what they
sort
do
of thing. So
constantly.
these guys are just beating them at their own game, and
yeah.
they've got the shits now.
Wow.
Yeah,
And they're
because-
trying to sue them and everything, and it's like, well, you do the same thing, and so now all the people are
just do it
going like,
behind
no, we
closed
bought the
doors,
stock because
quiet.
we really love GameStop. Like that's what we're doing, and like they've just it's like fully fucked up all these like billionaires.
And what's GameStop saying?
Well, they're probably loving it.
Yeah, they're probably
Because I
pretty
know
happy
they're
with
going
it.
under. Like, how are they going to...
They can probably just implement more things now.
Well,
That's
now
what
that
happens
he's
when
got
you get
money,
more stocks.
Yeah.
That's what I can gather has happened. On a basic level. Like that's
Well, I saw another video that said if you really want to tank Wall Street,
Yes.
go out and buy an ounce of silver. If everyone bought an ounce of silver, it would fuck everything.
power of
Just everything.
power of the internet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do not listen to
Yeah,
this
don't
show
do that.
for stocks advice.
Yeah, don't
Never, no.
Don't take any of my. I'm just giving a very layman idiot. I'm not good at maths.
It's just taking the Dan approach.
I'm good at watching movies and saying my own idiot opinion on things.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's
Yeah,
like my
that's-
one skill.
Yeah, well, Dogecoin went from 0.03 cents to 0.1. Like, so, zero, yeah, 0.03. So 3 cents to 10 cents.
Right, okay.
And because of
That's a
that,
big jump.
but now it's back down to like 4 cents.
Okay.
So, like,
So
yeah,
it's
they
very-
don't know.
Very volatile market. Yeah.
Super volatile. It's super new.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's put the car back in accelerate.
No, it's big news this week.
It was, yeah. I can't believe this is where we went with To All the Boys I Love.
I didn't think we'd go anywhere else. I thought we'd end up there.
We should have talked about this before the podcast. No.
All right, let's move along.
Everything in this is pretty foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's
the
just
breakups foreshadowing. The first problems is foreshadowing. All of that.
The breakup's confusing. I was like, did they break up? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he just walked onto a bus and see you later.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which, yeah, what timing? Like to have to do that.
Come on, man, hurry up, get on the bus.
You're like, I'm a little busy.
Old mate that's in every Netflix production.
Yeah.
Back again to
Yeah.
always playing a
Yeah.
football player.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
Yeah, that's what Joanne said. She goes, "Oh, he was in what's that other movie called? The suicide one.
13 Reasons
yeah.
Why.
Letters. Yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah.
He was in that. And he was in. I think he's in Riverdale, isn't he?
I haven't seen
Am I
it.
wrong about that?
Yeah, he is.
I think he is in Riverdale, and he plays a jock again in Riverdale.
Must
Go
be
Tigers, right?
Netflix
Yeah,
contracted.
he just
Yeah.
plays. He plays the same character in everything.
I think they have one school they go to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They just reuse
It's
the
the
school.
Netflix universe.
Yeah. They should just build one. Like, just build their own little school for, like...
Do you want to know?
Constantly... Actually, that'd be cool.
Do you want to know the craziest thing about this movie actually as well? That I feel. I think I put it on in the background once when I was like cooking or something, and when I went to click on it to watch it for this, it had me like logged as halfway through the movie. And when I started it again, I remembered nothing. I feel like I was rewatching anything.
Man, I've watched this movie before. And I only remembered certain pieces in it.
Yeah.
I remember the lanterns and the CGI shot at the back
Yeah.
when they did their shot.
Yeah.
And in the treehouse.
That's that.
Something I told you. I said, I think I've seen this before.
So talking about the cinematography of it, which because from doing weddings back in the day, but like seriously, like this movie felt like whilst watching a wedding video at times, because it did like all the like tropey things of like I said, the fairy lights and the lifting of the lanterns was shot in the way that a wedding video would be shot and stuff like that, and just like it just felt like that. Like it felt very
Even the jellyfish.
Yeah.
The aquarium.
Yeah.
The one back shot and then it fading through. That's a cool fade.
Although
through to the wall.
a lot of people, I've seen a lot of those shots in movies before though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it did come off like that.
Yeah.
It was... That's what I'm saying. It feels like it was like a
generic.
checklist
of
shots to hit. And also the John Ambrose McLaren name drop at the start where he walks through the door and they're like, so who else is working here? And he goes, John Ambrose McLaren. And I'm like, just how he said it, I'm like, no one says their name. I'd just be like, John.
Yeah, I know.
And I get it, later on it plays a role. John Ambrose plays a role. But
I'll just say me.
That also, but that whole revelation of why he's called John Ambrose was so weak. It's nothing. Because you don't even have a connection to it. I wasn't wondering why he was called that. It's a cool name. That's all I need to know. And he's like, it's because you called me.
And I kept it. That's how I got
He
it.
comes off like a major cock, right?
Yeah.
Like just constantly.
Man, lucky I didn't have a mouthful.
He does. Because he's always doing something like that is like wispy. Playing piano or running his hands through something or, looking at a car. He's just always doing something wispy.
He's totally the guy that I can imagine him saying something like, "Oh, you should really go to my friend's cafe because they only use milk that's made from recycled."
Yeah, the exact guy. He's the guy that's like, I've traveled the world before and gone in like a van around. That weird like,
He reminds me of Peterman.
Who?
Peterman from Seinfeld.
Jay Peterman.
Yeah.
He's not Jay Peterman.
Nah, but like, he just goes on his adventures, and then does he the one that goes in the Greenpeace thing and he dies?
No, that's
that
that's the NBC boss.
That's right.
Dalrymple, Mr. Dalrymple.
Yeah, that's right.
oh my god.
Because you don't look at it, it's the son. You look at it, look away from the daughter.
Yeah,
That's so funny, that episode.
Just so you know, I've actually for the first time now watched the first episode with Newman.
Oh.
Coming into the actual show.
Yeah.
With like he's in the first season Newman's in it, but it's Larry David's voice off camera.
Yeah. And it's them just going like, he's like, Newman's on the roof again.
Yeah.
Goes, jump, Newman, jump. He goes, wave on the way down. He goes, what did you tell him? To wave on the way down.
Man, I've seen every episode about 50 times.
Yeah, I'm getting through it now again.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah. Bring out that pile of grievances.
Oh my lord. I do like the decision for the internal conversations in her room, and I wish they would have had more of that, because that was one of the things I really did enjoy
between her and her sister and that as well.
Just even the internal things like where she's talking to herself or is writing, and then the guys are talking to her as figments.
Yeah, I just liked all the family parts. Every time the family parts came on with her and her sister and the dad and that chick across the road, I was happy. When they went to their normal life, I was like, okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah, the sister's fun.
The sister is really fun, and their relationship is fun. Like Lara Jean was probably at her most fun when she was with the sister.
Yeah.
Like I was, and not that I didn't like Lara Jean throughout the movie, but she was more downtrodden in the second act, right? But when she was with her sister, their interaction's really fun.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched the start of when I went to watch the start with Josh again to be like, why did I like this character of the first film? And she has this moment with her sister in the first film where she's there and they're watching a movie at night and she's like, you have to get out. The sister's like, you have to get out. She's like, I'm 11 years old and I stopped my plans tonight to sit here and spend time with you.
Yeah.
Because you're 17 or 16 and
Yeah.
you're sitting here and doing your own thing. And all of that type of thing was so important to what was occurring now. Like the relationship between them is fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Well, she's
it's
like
almost like that's the, if you had any type of brother or sister, that's the type of one you would want to have someone like that.
Yeah, well, as a younger sister,
Yeah.
she was like an older soul. Like she's already been through it
Yeah.
before. And that's what I found so interesting about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying as well. Like, even the chats in her dad, I think from the first one, they just,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there wasn't much, but it just, because he seems like a real humble dude, you just want to, he's like a warm
He's
character.
pretty generic though as a dad, but
that's
that's fine.
That's fine. That scene where they go to the grandparents' house to take part in the Korean tradition, and the dad's like there supporting them. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it's nice.
And even how the sister backs her up in that scene and kind of.
And then he goes,
That was so cool.
oh, that's another part I remembered. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That that old lady in that ball thing, scrap that whole crap and just have more of the dad in.
Yeah, do you know what? That's really true. That
You're
that
right.
final scene should have taken place at the family home, and he should have turned up at the house. Like that would have been probably more interesting. But they wanted to do a fairy tale ending.
They wanted to have a ball.
They
That was it.
They wanted to be like Beauty and the Beast. Although it felt like it was
Didn't
ripped
feel like
straight out of Titanic. That shot of her walking down the stairs.
Oh
in the
yeah,
dress.
I think the classic stair shot. That's reminded me of weddings,
yeah.
like the ethnic weddings. Can you get a shot of my daughter coming down the stairs?
Yeah, they loved it.
I'm telling you, tick.
And
It's
it's
just
like
ticking
in the
the
worst
list.
light possible.
Do you know
so
what?
it's
It's
so
one of the
shit.
funny things from wedding videos. I always tell people where I was like, they
Get scrapped.
talking about like, oh, did you like did you guys like just talking about like dresses and stuff like that? And I was like, do you know what the funniest thing with the dresses was? Because they've always got those complicated buttons. I was like, because like most of the bridesmaids and stuff had never. This was like first time being a bridesmaid, had no idea how to put the dresses on, so we always ended up doing it. Daniel just used to always be in there like, look, you do it like this. He's like,
Wow.
Or squeezing their waists in so they can tie it up.
Wow.
well, because
You have
it's
to.
complicated. It's not an easy process.
Otherwise, they go behind time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, let's do it.
Yeah, you're the guy keeping him on time.
Yeah.
throughout the
Yeah, you
whole
do it,
thing.
and then they just do the final two buttons of the video. Hey,
Yeah. It's the hand shot. Yeah. But now they're just
you and Mitch were the
They go to-
masters of it. Hey,
Yeah.
They go to get the buttons and they're like, up. And then you just wait.
I'd hate to be one of those things because it just sucks you in.
yeah, they look brutal.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's good that like more modern dresses are more sort of like
Yeah, they just it's
floaty
just a
and
zip
stuff, yeah.
and just
And
it's
I'll
like a
say
dress.
it, one of the coolest looks at the moment. I really like it, and I think maybe it's because I'm now a bit. What is it called when you see something and then? See, I'm fuzzy today. I can't think of words,
Yeah,
specific words.
Case of the Mondays. What's that from?
Legit. What was that?
Come on.
See, there you go. I'm not gonna get
Office
it.
Space. You must have a case
I
of the
haven't
Mondays.
seen Office
Oh
Space.
man, you'd love
Well,
it.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like, I like the whole look of the Converse
Yep.
with the dress
Yeah.
because it looks like you're comfortable.
You like
Man.
the kicks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All wedding traditions now, there is none. Just do how you want to do it.
Yeah.
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 It's
Let's just
way
turn to a wedding
cooler.
podcast.
Well, this relates to it a lot. Though.
Yeah,
much.
that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder if she's
This is what this podcast is all about. It's us drawing on things that we experience in life and putting it to a movie. And it's like
but
we very heavily worked in it. I mean, you're still in it to this day.
yeah, 16 years.
Getting back into it.
And yes, I still love it. Nah, dude, it's good.
That's good.
I didn't like the video side. I've got over that, as everyone knows.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you get to tickle that fancy in a different way here by just watching them instead of making them.
Well, it'd be good to make another short film again.
Yeah.
I keep saying that. every
I just pitched
4
an idea
episodes.
before.
Yeah.
You just go, it just sounds like another one.
Nah.
No, you didn't.
That's like a Joanne thing.
Oh, yeah, another movie.
Mr. Negative.
Super. Oh my God.
When I'm editing these
Where are we going
when
with this?
I'm editing these podcasts, because you said last time I said I always look at you.
Yeah.
I remember the part where I looked at and went, and I cracked up laughing. I was
You
going to
always
send it in
look
the
at
group. Yeah. Oh, man.
All the way through it, she's wearing. Well, I'm not surprised she's wearing contacts, so that's just a standard thing.
Yeah.
But she has the biggest eyelashes on throughout the whole of the movie, And it took me the last few scenes. I'm like, has she been wearing that all the way through it? And I'm skipping back through the film.
That's a detailed pic, man.
Dude, I couldn't help it because that was so fucking big. Later on, like she's laying. They were so huge, man.
What is happening? He's so passionate about this.
They were fucking huge, and no one just lays down.
I don't think I've ever seen you so passionate against something.
It just looked wrong.
You're usually the voice of positivity on this podcast.
Sorry. Far out. The ending shot
It's getting hot in here.
It's because we're laughing so much. The ending shot is on the same level as the her speaking into the camera.
Yeah,
which is
I
like
can't remember the ending shot.
How good is this? How good is this podcast? We watch the movie to review it and we can't remember it.
I can remember it.
This movie's so forgettable, though. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm making. I can't
3 out of
remember
10.
the
Let's
ending
go.
shot. I legit
Leaving.
can't remember the ending
It's
shot.
like Die Hard 4.
Yeah, the ending shot's fucking awful. I hated it. That was the other one I hated. I just remembered it now.
I can't remember it.
I was like, I turned around to my girlfriend. I went, "Are they floating?" She goes, "Yeah." And I was like,
Oh, yeah,
why aren't
but
they amazed
they
by
went
the
on a
fact
chi-
they're floating?
they went
Why
on a-
aren't they going, "Holy shit, we're in the sky"? They're just like still kissing.
They went on a. It's the old. Let's just step on a cherry picker. Fuck, it's like a Wizard of Oz moment. They're getting carried away in a tornado.
If that happened, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" We are in the sky.
That's like breaking the fourth wall. It's like, yeah, we're in a movie. We're just going to lift ourselves up.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I
It
thought-
felt
that
so
was-
weird and out of
That was
place.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
did. It was crazy.
And
And
that's
it was
something
such an intricate shot. They walked all the way over to it,
Yeah.
and they would have just stepped on it and had like 2 cranes.
Yeah, no, it was so
Fucking
obvious
weird.
they were on something because they wouldn't show their lower half.
Is this a stage play?
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
it's like watching those Russian wedding videos. They put star wipes and shit in them.
It's
Because you know what would have made that payoff like a bit that would still would have been corny as would be if the old, like, say Stormy had have been like, well, you know you really love a man if when you kiss him it makes you feel like you're flying.
yeah.
That would have made that payoff. Maybe she does say that. I didn't pay a lot of attention.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
if there was a
That out of
a
nowhere,
reason
I was
for
like,
it.
I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, are they flying?
Yeah.
And she goes,
flying?
she's like, yeah. And
He
I
had
was
a
like,
cape- he had a cape
I was like,
on.
that is fucking stupid.
Maybe she was,
Quote unquote.
or maybe she was just dreaming of it.
No, they're back together.
Well,
Yeah, no,
well,
but
it
maybe
wasn't,
the kids
they weren't
went,
really floating.
maybe
That
the
was
di-
not the concept.
Well, maybe the director's vision was let's make it viewable as to how she feels.
No, obviously that is what
That
it
is what
was,
it's
but
doing.
it's
Yeah, no,
just
but it's
shit.
just
It
shit,
doesn't
yeah.
work.
It's just
but some people won't see that.
Heaps rather if they had
Yeah.
been like, what the hell? What the fuck? How are we doing this? This is crazy.
There's the rom-com for you. Later on, they're like,
sh-
oh my God.
Well, after she opens her eyes from a kiss, they look at each other. Oh fuck! And say, fall down.
Whoa, welcome to Westview.
That's what wouldn't it be super interesting if it's like to all the boys number 3, she's like on Scott's Peter and he's like, where did you land? She's like, I'm in Korea. Like I floated to Korea. He's like, fuck, I've landed here. This is crazy.
Well, maybe
That was so weird how he floated.
Could
could it have been an illusion, like a pulling back to when they let go of the little floaty thing?
I think that's what it
Into
was.
the air?
I think that's what it was.
That was dumb then.
It
If
was
that
dumb.
was the reason why.
I'm pretty sure that's
That
what it was.
was
That's what I
dumb.
thought anyway. But I did
Yeah.
not like that ending.
No.
Because they were so out of place, those choices.
Yeah.
They were really odd.
Look, I'm just going to put it this way. I'm not going to watch this movie again.
No, it's not going to happen either.
What?
I believed you there
Do
for
you
a second.
remember? The thing is that, well, you're not going to watch it again, and you're never going to remember it after this podcast ever again.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
This has like high reviews.
It's like
though.
that.
Has what?
Has like a good score.
No,
on
this
Rotten
is a perfect movie for like a 16 or 14 to like 17.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
less. 14 to 16.
It's also
even
reached,
maybe
like,
12.
13.
Like
12, yeah.
we talked about, I can't remember what movie it was that we did, but put it on for like if you're cooking, just put it on in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
This is
Wednesday
a
night.
Wednesday
night.
Like it's in the background,
Yeah.
or
It's on
you're
the
doing
laptop.
emails.
You don't need to watch this one on a big screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Put
On your phone even.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's an aeroplane movie.
Podcast
it's super forgettable. Similar.
Just listen to
similar.
us. It's more interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, it is actually.
Yeah, we talk stocks.
Being a stock advice.
The ramifications of
wedding
floating with your
photography.
kids.
Mate, this is a jack of all podcast.
We've gone places you never thought we would have gone today.
Neon radio, more like Swiss Army radio.
So how are your bowel movements?
Shit.
That is the thing, though, that I was thinking, though. If you're kissing and you're floating in the air, what if you need to do a shit?
That's his thing.
Yeah, that's my job.
He hasn't done that for a while.
I know, it's true.
That was a big feature on the Harry Potter episodes. He was always worried about if you needed to shit when you were
on the
The
stairs.
fucking stairs kept changing. What if there's no bathroom where they are?
Maybe the stairs had built-in potties.
Maybe, but I mean, that's weird.
I know. Imagine just walking the stairs and someone's doing a shit on the thing.
And what about, like, okay, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Can someone give me the facts? Come on.
Why did they make this movie? Here's the facts. Why they made this movie? Oh, that was terrible.
Wow, that was horrible.
We get Declan singing.
He's done.
It's done.
Okay. He can do one division next.
You can sit in it.
Wow.
Sit in my shit and just stir my bum around.
All right, fact number 1. I found this interesting because in all of the shots, she looks really. I'm really pulling for some form of information for this movie.
Is this a fact?
I don't know. I think it's just.
Are you making up facts?
Honestly, I think it's just me, watching the movie and going, I wonder, and that's it.
Did you read this fact?
Not yet.
So,
I've read it. I've read it.
Oh, okay.
It is a fact.
Yeah, right.
No, all I was going to say is throughout the whole of the film, I'm looking at Lara and Lara Jean, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, she's really short. And is she really short or is Noah Centineo really tall?
I think it's a mix. He's really tall.
It's both, yeah. So she's 5'2", and he's
below
6
average.
foot.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not that.
No.
Not super tall, but he's
Average.
tall enough. Yeah.
A bit higher than average.
5'2",
What's average?
yeah, she's
5'8",
short,
isn't it?
Yeah. So that's all that was. That was just one of the facts.
I'm taller than him, in fact.
Wow.
So am I.
I'm not.
If you want to send me secret love letters, do it.
What?
Hey, fan mail.
Weird, man.
Fan mail.
This was filmed back to back with the third film in the trilogy.
Oh, really?
Jordan Fisher plays John Ambrose in this movie. In To All the Boys I've Loved Before, the role of John Ambrose was played by a different actor, Jordan Burchett, who was white in it.
When was that shown?
So there's all the characters shown at the start, which
the letters went out.
All the letters went out to when they were
Right.
kids and the ages and all the rest.
Yeah.
And he's shown just sitting there like
Oh, okay.
that,
Right.
and it's like little kid
So the team Josh, what's the other one?
Josh,
Yeah, who's the other team?
and the new one's John.
No, but who was in the
Peter.
first movie?
Josh and
Peter.
It
Was
just
one of
Josh and
those
Peter.
guys black?
No, Peter, he's the one that's in this movie.
No, Josh was
Josh was like the most generic white dude ever.
Yeah, he was like
I can't
he was
remember.
like a twiggy little boy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
he was like you see Peter and he's like a jock looking dude, and then you see Josh and you're like, oh, he's like a normal
Like us.
guy. Yeah.
Like-
Or speak for yourself. John Ambrose McCann. Oh, there you go. There's what is the last one. He showed up at the house. That was it. There's no fucking facts for this movie.
Yeah.
It's boring.
One scene we didn't talk about that I just mentioned before that I hated the most. I want to know what you guys thought of it because really I just thought it was so pointless and dumb and didn't have any character development and it wasn't charming. It was trying to be charming. Was the piano scene? I hated that scene.
No, that was.
when he's playing the piano.
sucked.
What was that
That
shot
was
where it
the
kept going back
boring.
behind on their shoulders and showing? What was the point of that shot? I didn't understand what the point of that shot was.
Again, to me, it was very forced. Like,
Yeah, it
come
was.
on, this is,
You know what the funny thing was? My eyes started to wander.
nice music though.
And I stopped listening to what they were saying.
Yeah.
And in the background on the left, I swear to God, I saw a photo behind stuff of Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
Really?
You know, like the painted photo of
Oh,
Vigo?
yeah.
Yeah, I
the
swear to
menacing looking
God,
thing.
it was like a version of Vigo in the
That's
background.
true. That's a good fact.
Yeah. There you go.
Reece says, I pick up facts when he's bored.
Yeah.
But that was that's
like
that's.
eyelash,
I found that scene was so
Come on.
weird. It was like trying to be so romantic and like it was trying to be like a classic scene or something.
Yeah.
It was like.
Because they were pushing it. They were really forcing it.
Yeah, there was no chemistry between John and Lara Jean. I didn't think
not at all.
So I didn't really buy any
forced.
of it between them personally. I don't know. Maybe I feel like there was when this movie first came out, there was a contingent of people that were being like, "Yeah, John." But
Yeah. I did another thing. Her friend, the eye shadow
Yeah.
chick,
Yeah.
What's the point of her in the movie?
There's a lot of
Just a friend, I
just a
guess.
friend, but there's a lot of
No,
characters.
there's nothing.
It's like they threw too many people at the screen and didn't give anyone enough time to develop it.
Well, that was like, man, I really, there's two things I would have liked from this, and after listening to all this with each other. Number one is the family stuff. No doubt about it,
the best
more
part.
family stuff. When they're in the shopping mall and she has the moment with the neighbor, that's great. It feels like they have such a great family dynamic. And then number two, I wanted to know what the fuck happened with Jen. I would have liked to have them to, like, I don't know, found some form of friendship. Well,
with
if
one
they
another.
had played more on the
Anything.
whole, like her and Peter talking a lot more and her wanting to hang around the two of them, or
that could have been earlier in the film.
that would have made it a bit more impactful when it was like that photo of him and her came out and everything.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
Anyway, they were the two things that I had the most enjoyment with. And now thinking more about it, I thought that originally I was like, oh, the retirement home would have been a cool destination, do a whole bunch of different little things. Now thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want to see it
retirement home,
anymore.
throw it in the bin.
Yeah, I
rubbish.
don't even want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
let's give...
I was going to say, this
Final thoughts?
It'll appeal to certain people. I think just for us, it's just,
this is...
But I like the first one. I thought the
first one's, it was what I said, 6.5.
Yeah.
First one. It's a good average movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, final thoughts. Declan, I'll go with you first.
Yeah. This movie's kind of meh.
Wait, before we continue, I do have one thing. Declan, you gave the first movie
I gave it a score, did I?
3 out of all the boys I've loved before of 5. Okay? So this is...
Yeah, I remember when I used to do that comedy where I'd
You gotta give me a score for this one.
Okay. Give this one, I'll give it out of 5 again. Yeah, this would be like a 2 boys that I don't still love out of 5.
2? All right. It's so cheesy. It's nearly as bad as that piano scene. All right. Any other thoughts to it, or is that it?
It's just really just forgettable and just not. It just didn't have the charm of the first one. It just lacks that little bit of
originality.
See, it's so easy to fall into this trap with a rom-com too, where I think they try to do too much or they think they're doing something new when they're actually just going over old ground. Whereas like something, what makes a rom-com to me work is not something interesting with the story, because how many ways can you tell a love story? It's the chemistry between your main couple,
exactly,
and the funniness of the friends that are around them that makes a rom-com stand out.
That's why
that lacks this.
10 Things I Hate About You, classic.
10 Things I Hate, When Harry Met Sally. You know, like
I like 500 Days of Summer.
500 Days of Summer has
fantastic.
that between definite chemistry.
Zoe Deschanel
and then, you know, Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah,
like all those movies, they've all got that. They've all got that chemistry, and they've all got the funny friends around them, which makes it.
But they're not like, most of them aren't like super duper out of there.
No,
and that's what really can cause a problem in those in rom-coms.
Even something like like Along Came Polly, which isn't that great of a movie, but Stiller and Jennifer Aniston are good, and Seymour Hoffman is a good friend. You know what I mean? Like
he's unbelievable.
The breakup with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, because they've got good chemistry. It works. Yeah, totally.
Dan, man, your score.
Well, I don't think I need to say anything else. But yeah, bland movie. Won't watch it again. How
but do you hate it though? I know, bland movie. Won't watch it again. Not bad though.
Sometimes Dan, when he doesn't like, when he doesn't like outrightly say he doesn't like something. He just gets really militaristic with his review. He's like,
it's true.
Yes, not that good.
But you don't hate it.
If I'm passionate about it, I'll think. But okay, let me break.
He's
this
like
down.
Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, so this is what's going to be. I don't like it because it's too generic, right? The story is just way too simple, and I think this is aimed again at that sort of early teen age bracket.
Yeah.
The shots are all too forced, and as a cinematographer myself and photographer, it just takes me out straight away. The blues and the fucking yellows, it was just way too much in every single shot.
Yeah,
that annoyed me. The forced composition as well. Like I love that stuff, and I love negative space and symmetry and stuff, but it has to look realistic.
Yeah.
So flick next for that one.
Has to be in place for it. Like there's a reasoning or feeling for it. In this, it feels like it's just there because it's there.
Again, like that dinner scene in the beginning, from memory. There was no one walking past. It just felt like it was
the dinner scene at the end looked great.
Yeah,
because it looked great because it wasn't being forced. It felt like there was the dynamic between them was fine.
Yeah,
and it wasn't them trying to make a cool shot.
Yeah,
they were just doing the shots that were necessary,
and that's what helps. But what else I didn't like? I think that was the main thing. Other than that, it's just too simple for me. And and this is a thing I do for everything. When I finish a movie, I want to walk away learning something.
Yeah,
and I got nothing from this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, not
your type of film, for sure.
No, well, I liked the first one because again, it was a little bit different.
This one wasn't your type.
Yeah. So look, it sounds like I'm hammering it. It's an okay movie. Like it's not terrible. Like
I didn't feel like I felt like with some of the doing like the Die Hards and stuff like that, where I was pausing it, or like the Christmas Chronicles, where I was like, "Fuck, this movie's still got so long to go." Like, I watched it all the way through.
Bad movies lately,
and I didn't worry about the time left on the movie. You know what I mean? Like,
But yeah, I'll give this a 5.5.
5.5. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. See, I was pretty similar in the same boat of like the biggest thing is that between Act 1 and Act 3, it's so boring, and they're annoying, and that's what really took it out of me for the first viewing. Without having conversed about this yet, all I could think about was these characters are bugging me.
Yeah, they're frustrating.
Yeah, and by the end of it, sure, I did enjoy the ending for what it was at the time of watching it, but the more and more we conversed about it, the more I could see that like. There could have been so many better ways to do this ending and more interesting. They could have used things from the start of the film or pulled sections, created more depth for characters. But at the end of the day...
It's based off a book. I wonder if it deviates much from the story.
Even its central theme wasn't that clear. Like by the end, the idea was that she needed to let go of her hang-ups and she was projecting them onto Peter, and that it was actually her that had the issues, but that wasn't ever questioned.
I felt sorry for that guy, man.
I felt, but both of them, I think, were doing stupid shit.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like Peter, as I said before, I think he was more versed in relationships and felt like he could do things and try and save like heartbreak. But then on her front, she just wanted to experience a first love, and all of that mix and match. I mean, it's very realistic. Things like that do occur. I think, anyway, that's what I've seen. I've seen friends go through it. But I do think that, I mean, there could have been better ways to show it.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, that treehouse scene, it was in someone else's house. They just walk in there and just...
Yeah.
It's like, where's
someone else's yard. The treehouse.
What an epic treehouse.
I know, it's pretty cool too. They're pulling it down at the end for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to give this a 5.5 as well.
Yeah.
The last one I gave 7, which actually is pretty high.
That's really high.
Yeah. But I didn't mind the first one. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's all right.
And Dan gave the first one a 6.5. Just to keep people up to date.
Maybe I'll go back to doing my cheesy scores again.
Cheesy like that?
It's funny.
If you could bring up, like, if you have one in your head, do it. I'd say.
Yeah.
All right. Let's finish this up. You've been listening to... that was really long and winded, sorry. You've been listening to Neon Radio Podcast. This week we reviewed To All the Boys, P.S. I Love You. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
Oh, I got a response from Dan Cartwright. I'm Declan.
Wow. And you have a good week. Respect.